welcome. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, so Mokori Joshua, basically. Yeah, I'm Mokori Joshua. So it's basically a substance. It's basically a substance you take that either helps you either recreatively or medically. Because like cancer patients and stuff, like it's recommended they take weed. It's a prescription for some cancer patients, but it could also be used for like recreational, like just to have fun. Basically, that's the word, to have fun. So it can be baked. Yeah, it can be baked. It can be smoked. It can also be relatively injected, depending. Okay, there's that a feeling of ease. Basically, it just eases. You feel at ease. You know, most times the human body is at this. It's always tense. The human body has like one thing or the other, like that they think of and stuff. But then once you actually take weed or any substance, basically, you just feel that pressure comes down for that particular period. You feel that ease for that particular period. Then see, it depends on the particular body, but my body after like 4 hours, everything comes back. Yeah. And that's why to some people it's addictive, because some people like that life, the life of ease. Like everything feels good to them, even like things in the most horrible state feel good to them. So they get addicted because they always want to have that feeling. They always want to take like weed. But then to a trained mind and to a mind that understands, like to a trained mind, basically, it's not an addiction. It's just one of those things. Like maybe you go for a party or something, and then you're like, okay, weed. Okay, I give it a try just for this time. But then it's not an addiction. Yeah.
Okay.
No, basically, yeah. Then I think permanently, depending on how you take the thing, like depending on how you take it, if you inject it or you bake it, it's quite fine. You get the exact same feeling.
Yeah.
But then when you smoke it, you start getting that complication, because anything smoked is dangerous. Like basically anything smoke is dangerous because of the lungs and everything.
Yeah.
But then weed is not necessarily the problem. I think the problem in Nigeria is the fact that it's most times smoked, and it's not baked, it's not put in food, it's just most times like they associate weed, like the cannabis, with smoking. That's it. So every single time you mention the word weed, the first thing that comes to your mind is it's being smoked. So that's why I think it's seen as a bad thing in Nigeria. Yeah.
And once a person is like addicted to it per se, how is it like?
I don't know that feeling because I'm not addicted to it, but then from what I have been told by my friends that are actually addicted to it, it's okay. You know the feeling where you haven't baked it like in 3 days, I don't know, or something like that, but then you start feeling uncomfortable, like, oh my god, I haven't done this, I haven't baked it, I think that's the feeling. And you now start getting some reactions, like maybe your body you start seeing some like reactions on your body. That's the same thing with weed. That's the same thing. You start, I think that's to see some like goosebumps and then some bumps on their skin. You see them reacting to not taking weed because they're like that. It's an everyday thing. I have some friends that, so most times people that smoke weed, they measure their weed in grams, like they measure it, or you can just say a blunt. People that smoke weed, I know someone that smokes up to like 7-8 blunts a day. So I think when you're on that rate, you're bound to get addicted to weed. And when you smoke at that rate, like smoking 5, even above once in 2 days or above once in a day or something, that you start getting addicted because your body starts to see that as a normal thing. Yeah. Depending, that's the thing. Depending on how it's taken.
Yeah.
Are we talking about weed? Are we talking about being taken in as in smoked? It depends, actually. I think the only time it's harmful.
Yeah.
I think the only time it's harmful is when we smoked. That's the only time when it's harmful, because like it has to do with smoke, and then anything that you inhale or like you smoke, that has, because the chemical outside it being weed, it burns, and anything that burns that is being taken to the body, it causes kind of cancer and stuff. Okay. So it causes cancer. It does cause cancer. It leads to some other complications like heart problems and stuff, but then I'm sure of it causing cancer. Oh yeah, there was a period, right? I used to I think when I was 17, 18, I was quite depressed over something, and then eventually in the long run they found out, because they just found out some of those things in life, and it was like, oh, why are you smoking? I go, it's reason, and then my parents are understandable people, so they were able to reason with me at the same time, try to convince me not to. I'm still being convinced, but I'm not addicted though.
Okay. So, because of what they said, did that change your decision in any way? Did that?
Probably. I think if I wasn't being talked to, then I may have been addicted to it now.
Yeah.
Is Jigging?
Yes.
Yeah, I may have been. Now it's just still that normal. It's just once in a while thing. It may have been very intense. I may have been the kind of person that would take 8 blunts in 3 hours, because I'm someone that always overdo things most times. So I would have taken 8 blunts in 3 hours, and then that's how it keep going.
Okay.
But then, cause like now I don't even consider myself as a person that was weed like again, because it was then I used to take weed, but now it's not even, it's just once in 2 weeks, once in a week and stuff. Yeah. You can, like, mine, I went for a party. It was a night party stuff, and then they went from alcohol, because I don't take alcohol and it upsets my whole body. It upsets me as a person. Mm-hmm. So they went from alcohol to weed, and I'm like, okay, I'm that person that I was like, okay, I had already started vaping before then. Do you know what vaping is?
Yes, I've heard of vaping, but I don't exactly know what it is. So what is it?
Okay, so it's when you basically take in the smoke. You do not swallow, you don't breathe it in, you don't breathe it, just put it in your mouth, then use it to form smoke design. Basically, that's what vaping is.
Okay.
Just take it in, just the way, how am I going to explain this? Take it in and then bring it out. You don't take it into your body, your throat, because even gases are quite deadly. It won't get you high. It's only kill, taking it in. People that smoke it in, I think they get cancer straight up. Oh. So I was already vaping. Just designing the smoke with my exactly. Yeah. So I now saw this one, and then I'm like, oh wow, cool. And then I tried to vape. Mistakenly, we don't even say it's a mistake, but when you hear, oh, you're used to already taking in the smoke, but you don't take it into your system, and then you hear, oh, you can take it into your system, it's not that bad. the first thing that will come into your mind is, why not just try taking it in? Exactly. Then from that, I'm like, wow, such a good feeling. I never tried it with my vape because I actually read the whole thing and I was like, it's quite dangerous to take it in, even though I never did. So I was like, wow, this isn't that bad. It's not as bad as it was made to look. So I decided to just try. I decided to try it that night. Then I took some more like puffs in. After that night, I remember that night, and then there are times where, okay, I don't know if you've ever been high. Can I ask if you've ever been high?
No, I haven't.
Probably not.
Yeah. Nope.
Like, it's one of those things where once you've become high before, remembering the incidents of you being high almost triggers you being high again. I don't know how that's so possible. But then you now start feeling you're high again, and then you now feel, okay, I think I should experience this in one more time.
Yeah.
And then one more time becomes one more time becomes one more time. You get?
Yeah.
To some people, that one more time may become an addiction. But then there are times where, you're like, okay, this is actually, then set up your mind, you're like, you know what, at least once in a month or something like that, then that's how it goes. Then that period, I was actually I hit like a real, I actually went down, like, I was quite depressed, like, I'm frustrated over some stuff. I'm trying to even remember, but then what exactly it was, well, I remember after this interview. So I was like, okay, and then I was still stressed. I'm like, why not just deal with this and then you get? So that was when I was now like regular weed person. Then after the whole thing, I calmed down. Like, I think in a full year or half a year or something, I didn't take nothing. I didn't vape. I didn't smoke nothing. Then another time again, I now met up with someone else. Then we were out somewhere, we're in a bar. Yeah, then that was the next time. I think from now, that was last 8 months. Yeah, then I even barely smoke now. It isn't bad. I won't lie to you.
Okay.
I won't lie to you. It's not bad because this is something you still think that will make you know it's bad. Why? Because cancer. But then weed is still given to country. Have you ever thought of that? Like there are some cancer patients are given weed. So how does weed now cause cancer? Yeah, cancer of the lungs and everything. But then it's still given to people that have cancer. Then when you reason it through, you be like, it just sounds like conspiracy. It's just one of those conspiracies and everything. Then you also reason the age of Snoop Dogg and then the rest of all these guys, and you're like, these people are old, like 76 something, and they dealt with almost all their lives. And then these were addicts. I'm not talking of regular once in 2 months, once in 2 weeks stickers. I'm talking 5 blunts in less than 4 hours. So when you reason it through, you just don't see that bad side again. This isn't that bad. But you should also have at the back of your mind it's bad, because that's what's going to stop you from getting addicted. Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Addiction to weed is bad, but then weed itself isn't that bad, if I can say that. It doesn't say nothing. Doesn't say nothing about me. If I used to drink and then maybe I got an interview drinking and then this question was asked to me, what do you think God is about drinking? God does not say anything negative about drinking. Unlike, he doesn't really say anything negative about drinking. He just says something about a pregnant woman shouldn't drink, something like that. I think I've seen that in the Bible, but I haven't seen anything where he actually says drinking is bad.
But you know there was a part that mentioned drunkenness is bad. You shouldn't be drunk.
I've seen that in the Bible, but then still, most times the Bible is like it's also in the Bible that it said drink wine and make merry, something like that. Still in the Bible. So thinking of it gets you confused. But I don't know. God, I have not heard nothing about being the society. The thing about our recent time is the society coils things to look like, oh, this is what is in the Bible. It's like, oh, don't take weed. The Bible says take weed. Where in the Bible does it say don't take weed? It's like, do you get? The society doesn't want you to do something. It now says, oh, it's the Bible, so that you now say, oh, the Bible, so God said. Then, but still, I don't want to reason it that way. I just don't know what He says about it. I don't know what God says about it.
Okay.
People, like, the more educated people become, the more they know about weed. Like, you don't need to tell them anything again. Like me, I got educated by myself and everything. You just, and if you notice now, people, it's been like legalized almost everywhere now, because reasoning it through, and it's like, it doesn't cause that much, I don't know, it doesn't cause that much harm, unless, I would only say this, when you're high and you choose to drive. I've done it before. It's not a good experience. Like, don't ever like be high and drive, because you find yourself. I was high and I was driving. You stay in Abuja or something?
Yeah.
I drove into Kaduna. That's how bad it was. And then I didn't know where I was until I had to turn back. I live in Guaripa. Wow. It was that bad. I had to, like, I think that day I almost had an accident. Almost. That was last 2 years, last year. I was on the express, you know, the way to Kaduna. I was on an express, and then it was quite bad. So that's one thing you should never do. And two, don't make it an addiction. You will die. Like, basically, you will die. Don't make it an addiction. Yeah, that's
okay. I didn't even ask at the beginning of the interview, how old are you right now?
What?
I said, how old are you?
Have I?
How old are you?
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yes.
19.
Oh.
I'll be turning 20 next February.
Oh, okay. All right.
You?
That's all I have in my book right now to ask you about. Thank you.
That's fine.